Hi, friends. This is a brief chat in. Part of it is because my throat and my energy is a little low. Sorry for the noise. Okay, so we're at 100, and the volume is high right now. I'm gonna see what else I need to drink for a second. So I don't have this listed as tea, wisdom, and oracle insights, but here is something else. This is a part that came from Whole Foods, and it's cabbage, pear, pineapple, parsley, mint, and ginger root. I need to make that cold. And then I do have a tea here. Oh, I'm going to gargle after I speak with you. Let's see, get a tissue close. All right, so if you're new to discovering me, this is just a brief chat about yesterday on TikTok. I had reported on a card. Now, it's yesterday. I want to do one for today, but I'll depend on my throat, my voice, my energy level. I am going to go out in the day because it's beautiful. I'm going to go to a place where I can collect some spring water. That'll be about the biggest errand I think I can handle today. Just and maybe I'll buy something at the store for food. That's it. Just brief in and out. But I wanted to get on because I said I would start to become more consistent. And this is really about yesterday's, but all the symbolism was really important. And I wanted to bring that together in terms of the theme, which also, obviously it'd be good to know at any time. So yesterday, Monday, oh, so sorry. Yesterday, Monday, was the 20th. It was a 2, which is all about relationships and communication. 2 is duality in opposites and the coexistence of how we need opposites like up and down, right and left, north, south, east, west. Um, Evil and godliness, like evil and goodness. The magnetic pole, uh, magnet and steel. Um, and it's about existing harmoniously. Also, the card that I got from Wild Woman Rising was a number 38, which is a number 2. And I exclaimed yesterday that that was pretty cool that was, since that card was a representation of yesterday. But its symbolism may be of importance to you because the card was called Gather Your Tribe. And I'm going to see if it's right here on the top, which it is. I'm going to show it to you. Now, this is a really wonderfully detailed deck that even as you think, like, well, obviously see some of the images, bear, owl, lady, for example. As you start to hold the card and look at it, there's symbols on the images or symbols. So to have a conversation with the artist, which she's open to, is very, very great. And I really have to organize some questions. I told her at one time about a month ago I was going to do that. And I started to write them down because this is an artist who's done depictions in 2 different decks that I have. And she's amazing and she's reachable. So let me just say what the artist had to say about this deck about, yes, gather your tribe. They say your vibe attracts your tribe, and nothing brings them to you more swiftly than when you're willing to be clear about who you are and what you want. Be clear about who you are and what you want. I talk about manifestation, even for me. What is it you feel you want, not you think you can get? No more people pleasing to make others happy. If you have to contort and compromise, they're not your people. If in your job you're not heard, you're getting a strong message, if not consecutive settlement messages, to recreate, to go somewhere else, to take your bed and walk. When we allow and attract versus contort and demand, we gather the lost pieces of ourselves and our wild woman rises. And that's for you guys too. So this was really telling for me yesterday. In fact, I think going into this morning, was it this morning? Was it yesterday? Probably going today. I had this dream that I went back to my job. Like I found myself working at my job. Like how would I even get on there? Like how could I even just punch in? Like I was just there. They just accepted that I was there. But when I woke up, I thought, I'm not going back to that place. I walked out on them. Not only would they, I would not ever expect them to take me out. I'm not going back. I told them the energy of a particular task and the environment by which they had me stand was not the best for me. being someone that can feel energy. And yes, it was a self-serve. And yes, I'm a cashier, down the way a bit. And what happens is me focusing one person at a time was very conducive to connection, not only for me, but even for other people. Because so many people would mention, about the interaction and my attention and things I may mention. And I would do like little readings for them, numbers and things like that, mention serendipitous things. And they find that uplifting. But overhead, you've got all these, it depends on the store or department store, you have all these programs of sales overhead, and that would get debilitating over time. I mean, I probably would not have lasted somewhere about 6 months or even 4 months, and I was there too. So that's okay. Everything happens for its timing, and it's fine. Yes, and this is the chamomile with honey and lemon, and I'm eating that. So what I want to do is, since this card was all about you being you, and here's the fine line, there's going to be some people out there you don't know yourselves. Please forgive me. Not everyone who's 17 or 14 or 18 will know themselves. First, you have a long road of adventure and journey before you, as well as in you. But some people are not knowing themselves. They're doing things to conform to their peer group or their family or their perception of what it is to exist within those particular structures, because they don't drive, or they're not the money earners, and so they are dependent in a sense of that environment. And if that environment has particular rules, known and unknown, everyone has to operate by, it can be very difficult if you're someone who wants to really be fully expressed as a younger person to thrive within at home. And that's why some people do run away, even older people, because they know there is no um, suggestion or fix that's going to help people magically really accept you for you. And so they leave. And that's probably, in a nutshell, really coarse and straight, but that's part of the bottom line. Unfortunately, some people do, when they run away too young and they're just brought back, or they start to self doubt, or, sometimes when you go, you haven't got it all figured out, and it is scary. So it's easy to turn tail and come back. I know I'm a big who left and left and left many times, and back at Family House, and it's not my thriving place. I have to really be very keen about making sure I show up for these card readings, make sure that I'll show up and start to do art again, and also as an example to visualize my next steps to get where I'm going. Because if I have to do it just by working 9 to 5, I will, even though I intend to live a really long time, it's going to be a really long time till I find my joy. So I want to do it in the energetic manifestation, you know, deliverance of my highest destiny. And that's what I want to lend to you, because banging out an existence is not as joyful as doing the things you love to do that just bring joy. And then you do that in an expression that brings on your own commerce and exchange. So remember I talked about be clear about who you are, what you want, no more people pleasing. Your vibe attracts your tribe. Nothing brings them more swiftly than when you're willing to be clear. And when we allow and attract, that brings us more into ourselves. Well, this card has so many symbols, and I wanted to cover some of the symbols right now for you. It was hard to pick them up all yesterday when I was briefly chatting on my TikTok, because I just picked the card and like kind of went into, wow, this was for the day. So here in the end, it's all going to make sense about your vibe in your tribe and you being yourself, you becoming fully realized, diving into you, freeing your spirit. What are you waiting for? What are we waiting for? So the owl is inner wisdom, change, intuition, personal development, transformation, luck, self actualization. All the things this card said. We also know the owl is a mighty winged bird of the sky, usually thought of to be more alert at night, hunting its prey. The all seeing wise owl, the mythology and stories behind that. And they're big. These owls are big. Their windspans are big, and they can pick up small domestic animals, and some that get really huge, probably some small children. So they are winged gods and goddesses of the sky. Then you have like a little mouse just under, it looks like a little mouse, this little face under the owl. And a mouse is uses their resources carefully. They monitor consumption. And when you use your resources um, effectively, not only can you thrive well because of how it is you keep your own environment, making a contribution in your tribe, the things you bring forward to help them, um, how to come together to use resources to save and or in knowledge to build a community. There's also a snail, and the snail right next to the mousy. The snail is fertility, and while it's a slow determination that impacts, that makes helps life's progresses. And a snail is bigger; it looks for a bigger shell. Like think of like hermit crabs and those kind of creatures. As they grow, they look for a bigger shell. So they can live in there. They get too big for that space. They've got to go to a bigger space. And they're just about fit it, they'll go into the shell. Just the same as your tribal community. For you to fit in a particular tribe that supports your own beingness. And as all the beings come together, they put their resources together, they put their different skill sets together, right? The hunter, the keen observer of resources, the builder of homes, keeping homes, you know, homes sacred. And then you have the moth, which is also change and transformation. And a moth can represent, endings, death, and the mystery of the night, much like the owl, right? Oh, badger, I forgot to look up, but let's move on to fox. Is cunning, resilient, playful, clever, mischievous, adaptable, and I've just recently discovered foxes like music. They're very attracted to music. A snake. A snake is a creative life force, transformation, immortality, rebirth, and is it negative? Rebirth and healing. And I'm going to put an aside here. So a pagan symbol was a snake eating its tail, which represent the shedding of the skin, the consuming end of life, and a rebirth, and it was a continuous circle. A very sacred symbol. And if you ever heard the song from the Lion King, Circle of Life, which we all are part of because there is no death, just life after life. Okay, so now we have, I have a hawk. I have this because of the wings coming out to the side, which very much to me, when you get close, look like the markings of a hawk. Intelligence, clairvoyant, awareness, spiritual awareness. And what else? Oh, fierce. It's another word I can't read. Hawks are not really, I don't think, considered like trainable easily because they are so fierce. But they like the owl, are very, very, um, intelligent hunters, transformational. And so in your tribe, you need those that are skilled at providing food. You need those that are skilled at setting up sacred space. Those that are skilled at recognizing where to have some frugalness and how to use the resources. You also have those that absolutely are into the creative people, right? All the transformation. And also recognizing and helping with death and birth and those transitions. What else do I have? I go with the bear. The bear is family and courage and vitality and health. He's self contained, or she is self contained leader, thoughtful, independent. So, in a tribe where you are all independent thinkers, you can bring so much in unity to the table, but also the freedom to allow that you must be yourselves and make that community strong. Certainly, there are times when those independent leaders will leave their tribe and set out on missions or adventures, on pilgrimages. Sometimes it's just to go exploring and bring back news. And sometimes it's to start new communities. Also, what's interesting within the community, like you have the snail here, we have the moth, the mouse, these the beings that wouldn't seem to have as much of a long lifespan, but they made their contribution. And at the same time, you know, the vibe of the tribe and the people only grow as fast as those are an allowance of transformation. You can belong to a group, but sometimes you don't fit the group anymore, even when you've made a contribution in and you've found much support in. Sometimes you just have to let go. So it's good being aware of your vibe, the altitude of your vibration, knowing yourself, becoming clear about what you want to manifest. So the leaves in this image also represent fertility and growth and renewal, life. The moon can be mystery, it can be energy in the change of cycles, magic of the group, magic of life. The stars, the stars can be, what do I have for stars? Possibly navigation, happiness, also renewal, and the moon, as I say, cycles and changes. Oh, and the night itself is vitality, immortality, and transcendence. So all these animals and the night sky and the land, bringing everything together shows you kind of also the mix of finding your right tribe. There's a little bit of different beings, something like all beings, all kinds are accepted, and yet they seem to have a lot of creativity, desire to know themselves, desire to be independent, interested in immortality, death, rebirth, life. They're interested in making a contribution. They all have different tasks or skills. They all are a part of nature. It says we are a part of nature. We are a part of nature. And the badger, I just want to see, I'm curious now. Symbol of the badger means.
According to Uniguide, badger symbolism and meanings include tenacity, cleverness, security, friendship, and gratitude.
So in the group, we can find our cleverness to be resourceful in all the aspects that even those other beings represent, and gratitude, being grateful that we are in community, we did find a group to belong to. And I haven't completely found my group to belong to. I have an idea. Maybe you are in the midst of looking for and finding your group and where you want to belong. Your creative group, maybe your spiritual creative group, maybe your home-based spiritual creative group, right? Like having a combination of much which what you're looking for is really awesome. A community out in nature that when you open your door or look out a window, there's nature all around you, whether it's mountains, seaside, forest, desert vistas, that you feel enlivened. I'm a person that doesn't want to live in a city. I don't want to live in a small box in a high rise. I've done that. Don't prefer it. I wanted to bring you basically the this card and all its connection to you, allowing yourself to be in partnership and communication and be in a tribe with others, right? And and find that no matter what in the tribe that you've picked, you allow your vibe to be a bright light and that you do not contort, conform. strive to be a bright light, and that you do not contort, conform, or stress into, that you just keep your light, keep yourself, and be you, so that you become more and more fully actualized. And you'll know whether to stay or whether you're running away. You'll know whether planting seeds in an area is good, or if it serves you for a season or so to make that tribe and that area your home. All adventuring is good, and the journey, it is within, not just without. Have a nice day wherever you are. Glad to know you through here. You can reach me. I only left my emails right now in the description below, but if you found this of value, like the symbolism, please pass this on to someone who may be needing some information about community and loving themselves and just diving deep to free their spirit. And I will see you next time on Sirian Star Oracle or Paths of Wonder TikTok. I'll see you soon.